Grace Mitchell had never been afraid of late shifts. For 23 years, she had worked as a dispatcher at Lakeview Transit Station in Chicago, and the night had long since stopped feeling like something hostile. The night was simply work. Fluorescent light, vending machine coffee, the crackling of radios, and the monotonous hum of monitors. All of it had become as ordinary to her as breathing. That Friday, November 12th, she came on shift at 11 in the evening. Her partner, Dwayne Hopper, called at 10:30 and said his daughter had a fever pushing 104. "Think you can manage alone?" he asked with the guilty intonation of a man who already knows the answer. "Of course," said Grace. "Go." The last train on the Blue Line departed from the terminal station at Harlem at 12:47 a.m.
It was a 6-car consist operated by engineer Carl Brennan, a 42-year-old man with a receding hairline and a habit of whistling something indistinct into the microphone before making his official announcements. That night, he didn't whistle anything. At 12:52 a.m., Grace logged the standard departure of the consist from Harlem. Everything was normal. The train was running on schedule. The platforms at O'Hara and Rossmore were empty. Deep night, essentially a weekday, most people already home. At 1:08 a.m., the consist entered the tunnel before West Side Diversey Station. At 1:09 a.m., contact with Carl went dead. Grace didn't think much of it at first. That stretch of tunnel had regular interference problems, something with the shielding. The technical department had promised to fix it back in September. She logged the disruption in the journal and continued monitoring. At 1:11 a.m., the train was due to appear at West Side Diversey Station. It didn't appear.
Grace switched the camera. Empty platform. Empty rails. Only the characteristic trembling of air above the tracks. Heat shimmer from the electrical systems. She pressed the call button. "Carl, respond to dispatch." "Carl, do you copy?" Silence. She switched to the backup channel, then the emergency channel, then tried to reach the train directly through the onboard system. Nothing. The motion sensor on the stretch between Harlem and Diversey showed the consist inside the tunnel. The coordinate hadn't changed in 3 minutes. The train was standing still. Grace reached for the phone to call the emergency crew, and at that moment, the speaker on her panel produced a sound, low, rasping, like someone dragging a wet finger across glass. Then Carl's voice came over the air. "Grace?" She exhaled with relief. "Carl, thank God. What happened? Why are you stopped on the line?" A pause. Long. Too long. "There's someone here," said Carl. His voice was flat, too flat. Carl spoke the way people speak when they are doing everything in their power not to scream. "Who?" asked Grace. "An unauthorized person in the cab? Carl, if..." "No, not in the cab. On the tracks." Grace looked at the motion sensor. One object, the consist. No other signals. "Carl, the sensors aren't showing anything." "I know," he answered quietly. "Grace, it's standing right in front of the train. I can see it in the headlight. It's been standing there for 7 minutes. It isn't moving." "Is it a person?" Another pause. "No." Grace felt cold move down her spine, slowly, methodically, vertebra by vertebra. "Describe what you see." "I don't want to do that," said Carl. And there was something in those words, something in his intonation, in the way he said it, that made Grace immediately stop thinking about protocols and procedures. "Carl," she said carefully. "Carl, activate the side cameras. I'm looking with you." She heard him click the switch. The side cameras from the cars loaded onto her monitors. 6 rectangles of darkness, tunnel walls, cables along the walls, concrete, cables, concrete. Then she looked at the camera from the lead car. In the cone of the headlight, roughly 20 meters ahead of the train, something was standing. Grace would later, much later, tell the investigators that she couldn't accurately describe what she saw, that words were no more suited to it than a teaspoon is suited to emptying a lake. She would say that it was tall, that it was facing the train, that she experienced an irrational, absolute certainty, the kind that exists only in dreams, when logic shuts off and only knowledge remains, that this thing could see her. Not Carl, not the train. Her, Grace Mitchell, sitting in the dispatch room on the surface, 2 kilometers from that tunnel, seeing her through the camera. "Carl," she said, and her voice was remarkably calm. "Carl, engage reverse, immediately.
Bring the consist back to Harlem." "I tried," he answered. "The drive motors aren't responding. The train won't move." "Braking?" "Same. I hit the emergency stop 4 minutes ago. The train is already standing. I don't understand why the system isn't registering the stop." "Technically, the train is moving." Grace looked at the motion sensor. The coordinate had changed. The train was moving toward West Side Diversey Station. "Carl," she said slowly. "Carl, are you moving?" "No, I swear to God, no. Grace, I'm not moving. The train is stopped, but..." "You're moving," she repeated. "Carl, what's in front of the train?" A long pause, so long that she decided the connection had dropped again. "It's gone," he said at last. "It disappeared." The coordinate on the sensor kept changing. The train was accelerating. "Carl," said Grace, and now her voice held nothing of the dispatcher with 23 years of experience. "Carl, are there passengers on the train?" 2. A guy with headphones in the 4th car and a woman with a child in the 6th. Grace was already dialing the police. "Carl, lock the intercar doors," and the lead car camera went dark. Then the 2nd car. 3rd. 4th. 5th. Carl's voice came back over the speaker. He wasn't saying anything. He was simply breathing. Quickly and unevenly, the way a person breathes when they see something in the darkness directly in front of them. "Carl," Grace whispered. He didn't answer. The 6th car camera held for another 18 seconds. Grace watched the screen. A wooden seat, yellow handrails, a woman in a blue coat holding a sleeping child of about 3, wrapped in a blanket printed with cartoon dinosaurs. Then the camera showed a corner of the car. Then the connection cut completely. Police found the train at 2:34 a.m. It was standing in the tunnel 120 meters from West Side Diversey Station. The doors were locked from the inside. The emergency crew spent 20 minutes forcing them open. The consist was empty. All 6 cars, the engineer's cab, the technical compartment, empty. Carl Brennan, 2 passengers, Tyler Oakes, 21 years old, a student, and Roberta Flanagan, with her 3-year-old daughter Emily, had vanished. Investigators found in the engineer's cab the melody Carl had always whistled. His colleagues recognized it as the children's lullaby, "Hush, Little Baby." They found his thermos of coffee, still hot. They found Tyler's headphones on the seat in the 4th car. They found the dinosaur blanket in the 6th car, folded neatly on the floor. Just the blanket. Grace Mitchell gave her statement that same night, then again 3 days later. Then she was asked not to tell anyone what she had seen on the monitor. She agreed, though she understood perfectly well that not telling and forgetting were 2 different things. She resigned in December. The following February, the tunnel section between Harlem and Diversey was closed for what was described as scheduled maintenance, which lasted 8 months. The official reason, deterioration of the rail bed. Grace moved to Cleveland, rented an apartment, got a job at a library, a quiet place, daytime hours, people around her. One afternoon in March, she was riding the subway, Cleveland's Red Line, 2 in the afternoon, the car full of people, sunlight flooding through the windows on the elevated section. An ordinary trip. She was reading a book. The train dipped into a tunnel. Grace looked up from the page, just like that, for no reason. At the far end of the car, by the rear doors, something tall was standing. It was looking at her, and Grace understood, with that same absolute, dreamlike, logic-severing clarity as on that night, that it recognized her, that it had been searching for her all this time, that back in the tunnel, it had not been looking at Carl. It had been looking at her, and now it had found her. The passenger seated near Grace would later tell investigators that she stood up, opened her mouth, and vanished. Simply vanished, between one moment and the next. Her book fell to the floor, pages scattered across the car. The train came back into the light. No one screamed immediately. People stared at the empty seat, at the scattered pages, at the dropped bag, and said nothing. Because there were no words. Because words are not suited to it. Like a teaspoon suited to emptying a lake.